Hi guys, welcome to Movie Chronicles. Today I'm going to explain a thriller movie called Dark Was the Night. We start with some lumberjacks logging in the forest. It's getting late, so one lumberjack calls his friend over the radio. However, he gets no response from any of them, so he goes to check. He finds their worksite abandoned and, more shockingly, a single arm behind a tree. He also spots something in the trees which terrifies him, so he quickly runs back to the vehicle. However, something comes out of the wood and attacks him, spilling blood all inside the van. 90 miles south in the town of Maiden Woods, where Sheriff Paul is sitting sadly for some reason, he and his deputy, Sheriff Donnie, go to check out the cause of a missing horse. However, there are no tracks and literally not a single clue. They think that the horse breeder, Ron, accidentally let his horse out, so they just leave. Paul later goes to pick up his son Adam from his wife Susan. Paul and Susan are no longer living together due to some incident, so Adam spends some time with both of them, turn by turn. Later that night, Adam asks his father if the parents are estranged because of Tim, Adam's brother who died due to some accident. Paul assures him that that's not the reason. Just then, Adam notices a shadow move across the backyard. He gets scared and tells Paul, but Paul does not believe someone's out there. Still, just to calm down Adam, he goes to investigate. Paul does not see anything out there, but he does hear something strange. Later that night, Paul puts Adam to sleep. As he's leaving, he takes a moment to look sadly at an empty kid's bed, Tim's bed. The next morning, Deputy Sheriff Donnie comes to him and says there's something outside, so they go to look. It's big freaking footprints that seem to be made with hooves. They're too big to be human footprints, but Paul paradoxically observes that it was made by someone or something walking on two legs. Donnie says that the hoofprints go all over town, so they go to look. And it's true, big black creepy hoofprints are everywhere, and the people are scared, so Paul and Donnie follow it to the woods. There, Paul notices huge claw marks on a tree. Donnie notices that the prints stop at a place and then completely disappear. Later, Paul calls the forest department and informs them of the prints. The person on the other side laughs at him, saying that no animal can walk that far on two legs, so Paul thinks that the whole thing is a prank. The town priest comes and informs Paul that lots of dogs and other pets have gone missing. Paul says he'll look into it. The priest takes this time to tell Paul not to dwell too much on Tim's incident. Later, Paul goes to the store where everyone stares at him, expecting answers, but Paul has no answers to give them, except that he'll look into it. Paul still believes that there is no creature that could leave those tracks and it's all just a prank. One of the townsfolk, Jim, who's a bit of a troublemaker, makes a sarcastic remark about how useless the police department is. Outside, the town innkeeper, Earl, says that deer in the region have gone missing. He says that animals tend to run away when they sense danger. Paul carefully notes this in his mind. Later that night, Paul and Adam are driving back to their home when they see a strange creature scampering across the road. Paul pretends to be some kind of superhero and he goes out there alone. He chases the creature into the woods but loses it. On a tree nearby, he sees the bridle of a horse that had gone missing earlier. Elsewhere, Donnie is having a drink in the local bar. There, Earl tells him a story about the ancient spirits that allegedly live in the woods nearby. Also, when he was young, a boy went missing. His body was later found 30 feet up in the trees. The next day, Paul and Susan are brought in by Adam's teacher. Apparently, Adam is still struggling to come to terms with the fact that his brother, Tim, is dead. Both Paul and Susan are devastated by this reminder that one of their sons is gone forever. Later, Paul is talking to Donnie when suddenly the skies are overcome with flocks upon flocks of birds. They're all migrating way too early. As they sit to eat, Donnie relates his concern about the creature in the woods and about the boy who was killed. But Paul just waves it off, saying he's taking Earl's stories way too seriously. Later, Donnie is dropping off Susan, and she tells him about Tim's death. Paul was taking care of Tim when he slipped and fell, hitting his head. Susan does not remember Paul, but apparently Paul blames himself, and now Paul is struggling from post-traumatic stress. Suddenly, he gets an emergency call from Ron, so he and Donnie go to check. Someone has been disturbing Ron's horses again, and he has taken matters and a shotgun into his own hand. His daughter Claire is having a hard time stopping him. Paul and Donnie calm him down, and Ron says there's someone in the barn. Just then, a loud shrieking noise breaks through the night, and the light pops off, so Paul goes to investigate alone. He sees the same creature from earlier, but it moves too fast in the dark, so they decide to come back in the morning. The next morning, they see scratch marks all over the barn door. They also see some tracks like before. Ron says the tracks belong to a hoof divided into 3 parts, and that he knows no animal with such hoofs. So Paul checks it out on the internet. As suspected, no animal has such hooves, except creatures of folklore. So they contact the sheriff of the next town to ask if they've seen anything out of the ordinary. Later, Donnie goes to the store for a little flirtation with Claire. Just then, Paul calls him to inform him of a dead deer lying on the highway. The deer has been disemboweled and has claw marks all over the body. Suddenly, something moves in the woods, so Paul quickly rushes back to his car. When he looks up, the deer is gone and Paul is spooked. He quickly goes to Earl's pub and says everything to Donnie. Paul is starting to think that this is not a normal creature. Donnie is also in agreement. As they're leaving, Jim the idiot starts teasing them, claiming they're incompetent. He also mentions Paul's dead son, Tim. Donnie is about to hit him, but Paul stops him and takes him away. The next day, some hunters are moving through the woods when the creature starts stalking them. In their panicked state, one of them shoots. The next day, Paul goes to check the spot where he saw the deer yesterday. Just then, one of the hunters comes to him all bloody and scared. The hunter tells Paul and Donnie that some creature, like an animal, attacked them, and his friends are dead. Paul and Donnie are now more convinced than ever that this is some prehistoric animal that has managed to hide and adapt for all of these years. Later, they go meet up with Earl and Jim in the woods. High up in the woods are the bodies of the two hunters, all mangled and torn up, so Paul calls the Rangers for reinforcements. However, the Rangers will take at least 24 hours to come here. That night, a snowstorm strikes the region. All radio signals and mobile signals are down. Paul shows Donnie a report sent by the sheriff in the next town. It says that a group of lumberjacks went missing in town, the same lumberjacks we saw at the very beginning. Jim also arrives and shows them an infrared camera recording that he keeps out in the woods to track animals. In the recording, they see something knock it down. Jim shows another picture with a creature that looks like the one we've been seeing. Afterwards, Jim and Donnie go to their houses. Much later, as Paul is working, a loud and snarling noise disturbs him and something starts pounding on the doors. So he and Adam quickly go and hide in the bathroom upstairs. From there, Paul calls Donnie. Donnie immediately turns on the sirens and turns back. Back at the house, the creature stops right outside the bathroom door, while Paul waits anxiously. Just then, Donnie arrives with the sirens making a loud noise, so the creature goes away. Downstairs, the creature knocks down Donnie as it escapes. So Paul and Donnie bring all the townsfolk into the church to spend the night. Paul tells the people everything he knows. The creature is looking for food, but all the animals are leaving the forest. So the creature is hunting humans. They must try to survive the night, and the Rangers will arrive the next day. As they wait, Susan shows Paul some drawings that Adam made. One is of him killing the creature. Donnie also starts getting close to Claire. Meanwhile, Paul is worried that he can't protect these people because he couldn't protect Tim. He still blames himself, so Susan galvanizes him with encouraging words. Suddenly, something bangs on the doors, shaking the entire church. Paul and Donnie quickly take the people to a secret shelter in the basement. Once they are safe, Paul decides to go up and finish off the creature. He puts Jim and Earl in charge and leaves with Donnie. The door is wide open and the creature is already inside. They follow its sound to a corridor. Paul tells Donnie to stay there in case the creature gets past him and then goes in alone. In the next room, Paul sees that everything has been turned upside down and damaged. Meanwhile, Donnie hears something behind him and goes to investigate. Suddenly, the creature attacks him. They struggle a little and Donnie shoots behind him. Paul hears the gunshot and runs back. He finds Donnie hurt and alone. Donnie says the creature is injured and sends Paul to finish it off. So Paul follows the creature to a dark corner and tries to shoot, but the creature scratches his rifle away. Paul immediately runs back to the church hall where he hides under the benches. The creature follows him there, so Paul shoots it with a handgun. The creature escapes, leaving a trail of blood. So Paul goes after it. It appears behind him, and it is one ugly beast. As Paul shoots at it, the creature jumps at him and pins him to the ground. So Paul takes out his hunting knife and stabs the creature until it is dead. Victorious, he goes and tells the people that they're all safe. They all go up to the hall full of relief. Paul and Donnie look at the creature, where they make a chilling discovery. Donnie says that when he shot the creature, he damaged a huge part of the creature's shoulder, but the creature's shoulder seems fine. They look at each other in horror. Outside, lots of these creatures are climbing the building, looking to eat the people inside. What happens to them? Maybe they survive, maybe they don't. We'll never know. But we can know what's in the next movie. Just click on one of the videos on your screen or subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help out the channel. Thanks for watching.